Viktor Schauberger was a man who didn't study nature from books. He watched it patiently, obsessively, and believed it was trying to teach us something we'd forgotten how to hear. Water, he said, was not passive. It was alive with motion, memory, and force. And if you understood how it truly moved, you might understand something far greater. Born in 1885 in Austria, Viktor Schauberger grew up in forests and mountain streams. Trained not as an academic engineer, but as a forester. While others tried to tame rivers, Schauberger studied how they cooled, spiraled, and carved stone over time. He noticed something few paid attention to, that water flowing naturally didn't move in straight lines. It twisted, coiled, and pulsed inward. From these observations came practical results. Schauberger designed log flume systems that transported timber using spiral water design, reducing friction, damage, and energy loss. They worked, they were built, and they earned him recognition long before any controversy followed. This part of his story is solid, documented, real, but Schauberger wasn't satisfied with efficiency alone. He became convinced that modern industry misunderstood nature at a fundamental level, that by forcing systems outward through heat, pressure, and explosion, we were fighting the very principles that sustain life. Nature, he believed, works inward through cooling, compression, and implosion. What would happen, he wondered, if technology followed the same rules? Schauberger began experimenting, sketching devices, building prototypes, refining ideas that blurred the line between engineering and intuition. Some of his concepts were mechanical, some theoretical, and some were described only in notebooks filled with dense language and metaphor. This is where certainty fades and fascination begins. During World War II, Schauberger was compelled to work under the Nazi regime. What he developed during this time has been the subject of decades of speculation. Here is what we know. He was pressured to contribute ideas. He did not control how his work was interpreted or pursued. And much of what is later claimed about this period comes from post-war reconstruction, not surviving technical proof. There is no verified evidence of operational anti-gravity machines, but there is evidence of a man deeply disturbed by how his ideas were being handled. After the war, Schauberger's life unravelled quietly. He lost access to his work. He was dismissed by mainstream science. And when he was later invited to the United States, he returned to Austria exhausted, having signed away rights to concepts he believed were misunderstood. He died in 1958, days after returning home, not in triumph, but in frustration. So how should Viktor Schauberger be remembered? Not as a magician, not as a prophet of hidden technology, but not as a fool either. He was a man who asked uncomfortable questions about water, energy, and whether nature might already know solutions we've learned to ignore. Some of his ideas hold up under scrutiny, others remain untested, and some may never be fully understood, because the evidence no longer exists. When innovation sits between observation and intuition, how do we decide what's insight and what's projection? Viktor Schauberger left behind no final proof, no definitive machine. What he left instead was a provocation, that nature may be more intelligent than our equations, and that progress sometimes begins not by conquering the world, but by listening to it.